In the vast loneliness of the Arizona frontier, where the orange sun melted into red buttes and the wind carried the whispers of old spirits, lived a man named Cole Hartman. A rancher with no family, no company except a dusty horse and a quiet ranch that echoed with too many memories. Cole wasn't just lonely, he was wounded by life, burdened by loss, and hardened by the silence of the desert. One scorching afternoon, while searching for missing cattle near the Sierra Peaks, Cole noticed tracks. Deliberate, light, and oddly arranged in a crescent pattern. Before he had time to study them, a sharp whistle cut through the air, followed by the hiss of an arrow landing inches from his boot. Within seconds, the desert erupted with movement. Shadows leapt from the rocks, swiftly encircling him. They were Apache women, warriors, fierce and silent, with painted faces and braided hair adorned with eagle feathers. Their leader, a tall woman with piercing amber eyes, stepped forward. Her name was Nayli, the tribe's strategist and protector. "Drop your weapon, rancher," she commanded in a voice that was both melodic and unyielding. Cole, realizing he was outnumbered and impressed by the discipline of the strange formation, obeyed without argument. A rope tightened around his wrists, and before he knew what was happening, he was escorted deeper into the canyons, surrounded by warriors whose strength and grace moved like wind-borne fire. Cole expected harshness, cruelty. Every rumor about Apache tribes had painted them as relentless. But instead, the tribe treated him with measured respect. They did not strike him, insult him, or mock him. They simply watched him, curiously, almost studying him as though unsure whether he was a threat or something else entirely. The tribe's hidden village sat in a cradle of red cliffs, protected by nature and secrecy. As Cole was brought into their center, he saw only women, young, old, fierce, gentle, busy with their daily routines. They all turned to look at the newcomer, whispering among themselves. Some giggled. Some narrowed their eyes. Cole felt like a stray animal that wandered into a place it didn't belong. Yet, strangely, he didn't feel fear. He felt fascination. That evening, tied but treated gently, he sat near a large communal fire as the women discussed what to do with him. Nayli, always composed, stood before the circle. "Ha crossed into our sacred land," she said, "but I see no malice in him." Her words sparked debate. Some wanted him released far from their territory. Others believed he might bring danger. One woman, Tala, younger and bold, stepped forward and pointed at Cole with a half-smirk. "He looks harmless," she said, "like a lost coyote in search of a pack." The women laughed softly, and Cole, unable to help himself, cracked a small grin. That grin, unexpected, warm, humble, shifted the conversation instantly. For a tribe that had rarely known kindness from the outside world, his gentle smile disarmed them more than any weapon could. When food was passed, Cole was surprised when Nayli personally placed a bowl of roasted maize and venison beside him. "Eat," she said. "You will need strength for the decision we make tomorrow." Cole quietly thanked her, and for the first time in years, he felt human connection. Real, immediate, and strangely healing. Throughout the night, he listened as the women spoke, laughed, teased each other, and shared stories. Their unity was unlike anything he had ever witnessed. They didn't simply live together. They supported one another with fierce loyalty. He envied their bond. He admired their pride. Without meaning to, he found himself watching them with a patient respect that didn't go unnoticed. Later, when most of the village retired, Nayli approached him again. She studied him carefully, the fire reflecting in her eyes like molten gold. "Why is a man alone in such a wide world?" she asked. Cole looked at the flames as though searching for answers. "Because sometimes life takes more than it gives," he said quietly. "And sometimes a man forgets how to be around people." Nayli's expression softened, though her voice remained steady. "Perhaps you are here for a reason then," she said before walking away. Her words lingered in Cole's mind long after the fire died down. As the desert night wrapped the village in a cold blanket, Cole felt something he hadn't felt in years. Safe, not because the tribe trusted him yet, but because, for the first time in a long time, he was surrounded by people who saw him as more than a stranger. His fate was still uncertain, but something inside him shifted. A spark of hope, or perhaps the beginning of belonging. And though he didn't know it yet, the women of this tribe had already begun to feel something unusual toward him: curiosity, respect, and for some the first stirrings of affection. As the moon rose over the canyon peaks and the embers of the fire glowed softly, Cole closed his eyes, unaware that in the days to come, he would change this tribe's destiny, and they would change his heart forever. The next dawn painted the canyon in silver and rose as Cole woke to murmurs outside the hut, where he slept under guard. The women had gathered again, But this time their energy was different. Anticipatory, curious, almost excited. They had seen something in him the previous night that none of them expected: humility. The world of the frontier was filled with men who boasted of their strength, barked orders, or carried violence in their shadows. But Cole was quiet, respectful, and observant. When Nayeli entered the hut, she carried a small knife, not to threaten, but to cut the ropes binding his wrists. "You are no prisoner now," she told him. "But you are not free to leave either. You will work with us, learn from us, and we will judge your heart by your deeds." Cole nodded gratefully, rubbing his wrists. "Fair enough," he said. "Show me where I can help." And with that simple sentence, everything began to change. Throughout the week, Cole worked alongside them with tireless dedication. He helped gather firewood, repaired worn tools, carried water from distant springs, and even assisted the elders in tending the horses. He never complained, never acted superior, never sought reward. He simply did the work with steady hands and a quiet smile. Slowly, the tribe began to warm to him. Tala, the bold one, often challenged him to small contests, racing up hills, balancing on narrow logs, or throwing stones at targets. Cole lost almost every time, but his good-humored laugh after each defeat made the women adore him more. The children followed him everywhere, tugging his sleeves and asking him to tell stories of the world outside the canyon. He told them about ranch life, thunderstorms rolling across open plains, and gentle calves learning to walk. The children listened with wide eyes, but the women watched him with something much deeper stirring within them. An admiration they had never felt for an outsider. One evening, a storm raged through the canyon. Tents shook, winds whipped mercilessly, and the river swelled dangerously close to the village. Without hesitation, Cole rushed into the chaos, helping secure shelters, lifting heavy beams and protecting the elders' hut from collapse. At one point, a child slipped near the rising river. Cole dove without thinking, grabbing the boy before the current dragged him away. The tribe watched in stunned silence as he carried the frightened child back to safety, soaked and shivering but alive. That single moment carved his place in their hearts. Nayeli approached him afterward, placing a firm but gentle hand on his shoulder. "You risked your life for one of ours," she said. Cole shook his head. "I did what any of you would have done." "No," Nayeli replied with quiet conviction. "Not any man. But you did." From that night onward, the tribe no longer saw him as an outsider. Women invited him to join communal dinners, elders shared wisdom with him, and children clung to his boots with laughter. The younger warriors admired his courage, while the older ones respected his humility. And Nayeli, she watched everything. The way he treated the women as equals, the way he never stared disrespectfully, the way he listened, truly listened, when they spoke of their traditions and values. Her heart, hardened by years of loss and leadership, began to soften. One night, after the tribe celebrated a successful hunt, she walked with Cole beneath a sky glittering with stars. "You have won them over," she said. "All of them. Even those who feared you." Cole looked at her with gentle eyes. "I wasn't trying to win anything. I just wanted to be worthy of the kindness you all showed me." Nayeli's gaze lingered on him, long, searching, vulnerable. "You are," she whispered. But fate had one more test. A rival group of raiders, men exiled from different tribes, had tracked the women's settlement. They attacked at dawn, arrows raining down as they charged toward the canyon. Cole didn't run. He stood with the women, defending the village with everything he had. He fought side by side with Nayeli, protecting the children, helping the wounded, and using his rancher's aim to hinder the attackers. When the battle ended, the raiders fled, defeated and humiliated. The women gathered around Cole, not cheering, but looking at him with deep, heartfelt gratitude. For the first time in years, Cole felt something he thought he lost forever: a place to belong. Nayeli approached, placing her palm against his chest, right over his heart. "You came as a stranger," she said softly, "but now our hearts know your name." The women surrounded him, offering smiles, nods, and touches of appreciation, not because he impressed them with strength, but with kindness, bravery, loyalty, and humility. In the end, Cole Hartman, the lonely rancher who once rode across empty plains searching for cattle, found something he never expected to discover: a family, a tribe, and the love of every brave woman whose life he touched.